The GPU wars are on, and the price of components has fallen through the floor. This is good news for consumers and for business technology professionals looking to get into 4K video editing, as well as augmented and virtual reality for Tech Republic and ZDNet. My name is Dan Patterson, and we're speaking again with Ali Zahed. He is a product manager, a project manager, developer, and hardware hacker based in Dubai and Karachi. Ali helps us understand not just what technology trends are on the way, but also how to build our own technology, which is, for nerds like me, just a wonderful way to spend your time when you're not recording. So, Ali, thanks again for joining us today. I wonder if we are going to build our own PC. Many people have dreamed about this, have thought about it, have even gone through and shopped for components, but it's a pretty intimidating process. I wonder, if I want to get started today, what's step one? How do I get started building my own PC?
Hey Dan, thanks for having me again. Building PCs is really easy nowadays. I've built a bunch of PCs in my lifetime, and I gotta say, something that I built back in the day, back in like 2006 or so, it was a lot harder, and it's a lot easier now. Components are easier to find. You can just order stuff online. Most of the stuff that you buy comes with really easy to use instructions. And even if you're uh, starting or like an intermediate user, you can easily build stuff. You don't have to be a pro, and you can build whatever you want. So how do you want to build a PC? Right now is like the best time. We just had Black Friday. I hope people took like advantage of that and bought the components they needed. But with the holiday sales going on for another month or so, probably more, uh, this would be the ideal time to buy stuff. So just like hop onto Newegg or Amazon, get yourself a bunch of components. There's a couple of websites where you can find ready to purchase lists of components, depending on both your budget or your needs. You want to be in you want to be a video editor, you just want something to work with, you want extreme gaming, you want VR, whatever you want, you can find somebody who's already built out a product list, a component list, and then you can just follow that, buy whatever is cheap, whatever is on sale, whatever has a discount going on.
So,
So
oh, I'm sorry. What are the critical components? If I need to make a checklist, okay, I need a case, I need a GPU, I need a power supply. What else goes inside of the boxes we use every day?
right, stuff that goes in the box. There's only a few things which are essential, but then you can like cram it up with whatever you want. So let's say that we're building a PC for gaming, right? Here's what you're going to need: the box, the case, right? You need a motherboard because everything goes on the motherboard. You need a CPU, the processor. You need a graphics card because we're going to be playing games. We need discrete graphics. You need memory, RAM, right? You probably need a CPU cooler as well because not a lot of CPU these days come in with their built-in coolers. So you probably need that. You obviously need a power supply. And finally, you need a hard drive. So you need these components to get a computer up and running, and you need the graphic card for that awesome, sweet performance.
And these are effectively the same components in every single computer we use every day, whether it's a teeny MacBook all the way up to a massive desktop workstation, correct?
Pretty much, yes. You can add more bells and whistles and such, but most modern motherboards already come with a lot of those. Uh, a lot of ASUS motherboards now come with built-in Wi-Fi as well, so you're not even restricted to using good old Ethernet just because you have a desktop computer. You can connect to your Wi-Fi network as well.
So there are probably a long list of do's and don'ts, but if I start with the critical mistakes and critical wins, what do I want to avoid doing when I assemble a PC?
I think from my past experiences, when I blew a graphic card because I didn't know the power was a thing, that happened in my first ever attempt at building a computer. It was that make sure that whatever you buy, you know how much power each component is going to consume. Just to be safe, you can go for like a 500-watt power supply, and then you should be golden for any upgrades. So power consumption. That is like one of the key things to look at. And obviously space. If this is your first build, I would recommend that you get like a medium to large size case, because that allows for more maneuverability. It allows you to make mistakes, bump elbows and stuff like that. I recently built a computer which is like one of the tiniest cases out there, and it was really difficult to get the whole thing together because it didn't even come with the instruction manual. I had to look up YouTube videos, and even YouTube videos didn't really, they wouldn't like describe how to do it. It was just like the guy doing it, and I was like slowing down and pausing the video, and I was like, all right, that's how I did it. Yeah. So space and power consumption, I think, would be my two recommendations.
I'm glad you mentioned power because often it's easy to under or overestimate the power your different components will need. It's also pretty easy to over or underestimate the cost of each component. So let's run through these briefly. A case is how much?
A case is usually less than $100. It's usually one of the cheapest things that goes into your computer. But they're expensive cases as well. Like you can easily blow a couple of $100s if you want. But cases are usually cheap. They start 50, 60, and so on. Power supplies are also cheap. You would want something like 80 gold or something, at least, because that allow that make sure that like less power is wasted and more power is like handed out to all your components, which also ends in reducing your electric bill. So that's something to look out for. And those are also pretty cheap, 80, $90 and so. And then motherboards, even though they're probably like the most important component of a PC, because everything goes onto the motherboard, they're fairly cheap as well. You can buy a very good motherboard for 100, 120. And even that's me talking about like a premium thing. There are ones that are like way cheaper than that. Most components, right, other than the CPU and the graphics card, are sub $100, including memory. You can even get like 8 gigs for a lot cheaper. And if you want 16 GB, then you can have to spend a bit of cash as well.
So we are talking a price range that runs from a few $100s to over 1,000, close to 2,000 if you spec everything out. But that is still considerably less than if you were to spec out the components in a high-end MacBook or a high-end PC. The components, you can build the same thing for significantly less money without compromising on power. And Ollie, we've kind of been building to this. What are the advantages? Why would I want to do this other than, okay, I have to edit 4K video, or I have to do gaming, or I have to do VR, AR? I can buy a machine that will do all this. What are the benefits to building my own PC?
Earlier today, I saw this really cool video about comparison between Xbox, PS4, and a PC. And the PC that they built was a 4K gaming PC for $500. I cannot do 4K gaming on my $3,000 MacBook. So that's clearly the advantage there. Like if you want something on the cheap and something really powerful, laptop computers, MacBooks are not the way to go, but PCs are. They give you the absolute maximum bang for your buck, right? And you can get like a lot for a lot less.
So one more advantage is that because PCs are modular, you can kind of upgrade as you go. You don't have to start with a souped up Core i7 or i9 processor and be best always. You can start with something that's affordable and in your budget, and as your budget changes or as time goes on, you can rip components out and put new components in. Another advantage of that is that while some components end up being kind of worthless or thrown in the scrap heap, for the most part, PC components are either recyclable, you can build another PC out of them, or they are sellable. For example, it is reasonably easy to get 50 to 75% of the value of your graphics card by reselling it. Of course, with all of these factors, going down to the hardware and electronics, we want to encourage you to do your homework, and we don't want to encourage you to do something impulsively. Do your homework and do your research. And we don't take liability if you electrocute yourself, but most of this, like you said, is very, very safe and easy to do these days. So the last time I built a PC was more than 10 years ago. Ollie, if we could look 10 years into the future, what types of PCs will we be building?
If we take a cue from, say, how mobile phones and how Google's modular phone project and other similar concepts are, I bet in the future we could have components just like that. Like we could have stuff instead of us building computers on the inside. It could just be like you have one block, which is like your base PC, or you want more graphics power, put another block on it. You want more power from the wall, put another block on it, and so on. And as the size and cost of things goes down, this could be a reality in 10 years.
Modular computing, which is very similar to where Google is with their Project Aria phone, which is a modular mobile device. If you would like to learn more about how to build a PC or components of a PC, you can visit Tech Republic. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe to our Next Big Thing newsletter. And you can follow Ollie, although I won't promise his tech support. I will that he is an advocate for building technology. Ollie, where can people follow you on Twitter?
All right, my Twitter is AliZaid0. You can follow me there.
We can also blame the lag between New York and Dubai for the small delay there. Ollie, thank you very much for joining us. We will link to Ollie's post on how to build an external GPU in the story accompanying this video for Tech Republic and ZDNet with a brand new graphics card. I'm Dan Patterson.